it is funny because I was talking to my dad and I was like, the shittiest thing about life is you only get one. And I know that sounds ridiculous. I'm like, I think of all the stuff I could have done at a certain crossroads in my life. Now, I wouldn't be where I am today, and you could have never convinced me at that time to take this road. But I'm like, God, I could have done this physically, and I could have went over here and done this, and my life would be, and I'm not regretting anything. It's just, man, it would be fun to do, to get to a certain point. I'm not saying from age
No, I get
0, but maybe like at 12, you're like, all right, and you got a plan in place, and it'd be fun to go through again. But it's hard, living with some decisions. I don't regret it though. I never.
Well, because it gets you to where you are now.
Yeah,
so,
but I did everything I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Whether it's good or bad, I'm like, I did it, and I'm super. That's one thing I know. I know a lot of guys who don't feel like that. And they feel, you can hear it in their voice. And I'm like, man, yeah, I wish I could have done this and that looking back now. But back then, this is what I...
But you didn't know.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm a different person. But I always think like in my head, like, man, it would have been cool to do.
You can blame yourself for being stupid, right? But you can't blame yourself for being ignorant.
And if I would have went that route, whatever, I would be like, man, imagine if I could have squatted $1,000. I think I could have done it, or who knows? So... But it's still, I just turned 47, and I've told my wife, ever since I started training like this, I feel like a completely different person. Not just physically, obviously I feel better, but I just have like I don't care about my age. Like it just gives me more steam. I'm like, fuck this. I will beat this. I mean, he's Father Time's undefeated.
Yeah, you can't beat the Reaper.
I will do whatever I can to live the best life that I can and push myself, because I am a different person now since doing training like this. And I'm a better person. Like I'm a better husband because I have that insanity taken care of, because I'm just restless if I don't have insanity. And especially, you guys know, like the physical stuff, just to get under 1,000 pounds or take off 600 pounds on the bench, man, holy shit. Like you got to be a little stupid.
Of course.
And it's funny because I think about, I never worried about anything. I'm like, this is supposed to happen. And like, one day I did 1,000 squats and 500 push-ups, and I wasn't even sore the next day I had a vest on, and I was just like, what was I thinking? And I was like, this sounds like a great fucking, sounds good to me.
Well, it probably just hit you like, can I? It probably started with, could I do?
Yeah,
that's where you're fucked from the beginning.
Yeah. Well, the funny part is can I do?
You're fucked.
Started with 150 push-ups in a day, whatever it was, and then and I look back at some of the stuff I was doing before May 1st, before I really made the commitment. I was like, oh my God, I do that in like 10 minutes now. And so I try to explain this to the kids, is like your perception of what is amazing has to change. Like doing 2 push or pull-ups is not, I'm glad that you did them, but 20 is way better. You have to expand your mind. All of a sudden the kids are doing, we did circuit training for our assistants. It keeps everything, so you press, maybe do some rows and lunges or something. We did sets of 50 on the body weight squat one day, and you could hear a pin drop when I announced it. It was like, oh. Afterwards, like, man, I didn't know I could do that, but holy shit! I'm like, yeah, it's easy. And this is, so I think that's the other thing I've noticed with this is you start to see what's possible. It's like the 4-minute mile when Roger Bannister did it. No one had ever done it. The next year, like 17 people did it.
Yep.
And now it's like normal in high school to have a couple of kids run under, a 4-minute mile. So I think it's been fun, and I love the challenge, Dave. Oh my God. And it's horrible because you're exactly right. You're sitting up at night, it's like, what if?
That's the worst thing, man.
I thought like if every 2 hours I did half of a Murph or something, I'm like, I wonder if I could last 24 hours.
Well, this is where I was going to ask about
and
your
I'm
progression.
thinking, what would my wife, could she figure out the timing of the food?
That's when
James has swimming. She's going to have to take care of that. But she's going to be gone for the Gatorade bath.
The suppository.
Yeah. So it's been, and then that's when you start going off the rails. And it's good. Like you need to go off the rails a little bit.
Yes.
It's that level of commitment. Like you just committed to it.
Yeah.
Like this is
and
what
I
it
think
is.
that's super important.
Not knowing if you can do it, I think plays a little role into it too, right? Because it's you against you. And for me, I need that somehow. And just that little bit of, I don't know is, in me, it's like, what the fuck did you just tell yourself? You are a piece of shit. Yeah. And then it starts. Then it's like, okay, what's the logical approach of doing this?
Yes.
So not can I do or not do it, but where you started with 150, it's like, where can I start? And not fuck myself up so bad that I'm off the rails. Like it's going and then crash. It's going, crash, which typically happens to me anyhow. But how can I only crash twice?
Yeah.
Well,
you find that tipping point and you go right there.